Welcome to How Now, the podcast where we talk about how to live in the now. And here's your host, Kim Martin Raymond.
Peace and blessings, love and light, and welcome to this 2025 live edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. I am your host, Kim Martin Raymond. I am a minister, spiritual life coach, holistic nutritionist, author, and founder of Redefining You LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves mind, body, and spirit. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome to the How Now podcast. We are officially embarking into season 5 of our show. I started this show back in December of 2020, and we are now embarking into our 5th season of the show. So I'm excited that you are here. If you want to know what's been going on in our now, please go to my website, www.hownowpodcast.com. Click your favorite podcast platform and be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. You can also click on the banner for this week's show, and it will take you to the How Now YouTube channel, where you can check out my playlists. I have things like Tuesday. I have things like Redefining Authenticity. That's another live show that I do with my co-host, Sharonda Barksdale. And just finding out all kinds of things, catching up on some of the shows that you may have missed in the past, and also finding out about my products and services. And so again, that is www.hownowpodcast.com. And you'll see that running across the bottom of the screen as I am going through the show. So again, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time with family and friends, or just time of meditation and reflection as you are going into this new year. And I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about the 365-day challenge. And that is something that started today. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to talk about that. Okay. But first, I want to talk about where I am. I am in Queens, New York, in the home that I was born in, and I'm excited to be here. I've been here with my parents and my sister and my brother, and it's been wonderful to spend time with my family. It's exciting because I have a grandbaby. My grandbaby gets to spend time with her great-grandmother, her great-grandfather, and her great-aunt and her great-uncle, and it's just been a wonderful time. And that's something that's so important when we're on a journey towards, getting to the best version of ourselves, being able to have people around us that can encourage us, people around us that can inspire us. And that's what my family does for me. So it's just wonderful that I'm getting to spend this first day of the new year, in my birthplace, in my home, and also be starting my 365-day challenge right here in my birthplace. So, no better place to do it. So I'm excited to be here, excited to talk about what the challenge is going to be about, and just taking some time to soak in what this new year has to bring in, and looking forward to all of the manifestations, and praying for manifestations, love, blessings, and peace to all of you as you're going into this new year. Okay, so, enough about that, and let's get into this 365-day challenge and what it's about. Okay, last year, 2024 was about restoration and rehabilitation. And it was important that we talk about things that we needed to do to build ourselves up. I spoke about, the fact that my husband is a general contractor, and he, normally has plans where he has to do restorations or rehabilitations to existing properties or additions to properties. And it put me in the mindset of our physical bodies. Okay. We said that our bodies are our temple. Okay. And as our bodies are our temple, we are always seeking to do things to rehabilitate and to restore our bodies when it gets to a point where they're not functioning at an optimal level. And so, last year was about, that restoration and rehabilitation. And it made me think about toolboxes because, you know, in general contracting, there are certain tools, certain supplies, things that are needed in order to do the restorations and rehabilitations and additions to the properties that my husband would have to go out and do. And so, in thinking about those toolboxes, I began to think about, what tools are necessary for what projects. And it made me start thinking about, okay, certain tools are used for certain jobs. And not every tool there's no one tool that's used for every situation, for every job that needs to be done. And I said, there are certain things that internally we need to address, and it doesn't require the same tool needed for every single thing. There were some overlapping things, but not everything that was required the same tool. And so I began to think about mental, spiritual, and physical toolboxes. So a lot of my shows last year focused on putting tools into each one of those toolboxes, your mental, physical, and spiritual toolbox. And with that, we got a lot of people who were coming on the show talking about different ways that we can cope. And COPE is my acronym for Create Our Peaceful Existence. And that was something that my co-host of my other show, Sharonda Barksdale, she came up with that concept, create our peaceful existence. And that was something that I embraced and took into the fold of what I was doing with regards to the toolboxes. So it was nice to be able to finally have some type of semblance of what needs to be done as we're looking to move forward. So as I deal with my clients, as we talk about coming up with the better versions of ourselves, I started to manifest and started to develop these toolboxes. And that's where the birth of the 365-day challenge it came from. It came from being able to go in and give people things that they needed to respond and not react to the things that were going on around them. Okay. And we'll find that as we're going through our mental, spiritual, and physical journeys, we'll find that there are going to be certain things that we'll need, certain things that we want to be able to tap into that are going to help us when certain things arise. Okay. Our bodies, have this little internal navigation system. Okay. And then with that internal navigation system, it prompts us when there are things that we need to do. We have that desire, or we have that sense of purpose that's in us, that drive that says that, we're at a place where we need to do something different. There's that little kind of quote unquote indicator light that comes on and lets us know that something is going on internally, whether it's mental, physical, or spiritual, and something needs to be done about that. And then we have to start thinking, okay, what is it that I need to do? Okay. Anytime we're talking about making any type of change, there's always going to be that question of, okay, acknowledgement. What is it that I need to be doing? What is it that's going on that's prompting me to have this feeling that a change needs to occur? And so that's where we start, taking that introspective look. We start looking inside and saying, okay, something is going on, something doesn't feel right, or something is bothering me, and now I need to acknowledge what it is. And that's where sometimes it's a matter of us taking out a piece of paper and a pen and putting pen to paper and saying, okay, I'm having this feeling. I'm not quite sure what it is, but let me start writing something down, or let me start, you know, going through the emotions of trying to determine what it is, and that's something that's difficult. It's difficult to do because if we just don't know, we just have this inkling, we just have this feeling, we want to be able to get to the source of it. And once we can try to determine what that feeling is, then we can start pulling out the tools that we need to help us to get to that place of healing. Okay, and again, that's going to cycle us back to that 365-day challenge. And what my challenge is for us to create habits that are going to help us to be able to take those next steps that we need to take. Okay, it's situations, or it's things that are happening around us that are that have to be addressed, and we have to find ways in which to tap into that. Okay, and that becomes challenging at times. Okay, and it may seem as though I'm rattling on, and that's because it's been a long day. It's been a long day. I didn't get sleep until 4:44 this morning. I got up at 9 and did some of the things that I normally do that are part of my daily habits. And, it's been a long day and I'm tired. That's just real talk. And the beauty of this challenge is that with every day, you're going to come to find out that every day is not going to be perfect. Everything that you think or say is not going to come from the purest of places. And we have to learn how to adapt when things don't look the way they typically should. Okay? When your body hasn't rested, then your mind isn't as clear as it needs to be. But sometimes you're required to deliver on certain things. Just like this show tonight. I wanted to deliver. I wanted to do a live show. It was important to do that because I wanted to talk about this challenge. And as you can see, it's a challenge in and of itself, because day one of this challenge happens on a day where everyone has gone into the new year, has stayed up past 12 o'clock, may have slept in, but I got up early because there were things that I wanted to get done. And so here we are. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to talk about this challenge and to get us on the right track while getting myself on the right track. And the beauty of this challenge is that there are going to be some days that are going to be imperfectly perfect or perfectly imperfect. And that's going to be the challenge. The challenge is going to be that with every day, we're going to take it one step at a time. What is something that we can do each day that's going to help us to get one step closer to that better version of ourselves? And that's going to require small steps. Okay? For instance, getting up on this first day of the new year, you're going to have people who have resolutions. There are people who are going to say, well, I'm going to start my diet today. That's a popular one. So let's start there. People are saying, oh, I want to start my diet. Well, one thing that I want to say first and foremost is step off the scale and step into life. How about that? Okay. And I say that because sometimes what happens is when we make resolutions or we make these grand plans to do something, sometimes it's so overwhelming that we self-sabotage. So for those people who may have said, oh, I'm going to start my weight loss journey today, I'm going to step on that scale, and they step on that scale and they see a number that's not the number that they expected, sometimes that'll do just the opposite of what it was supposed to do. It may sabotage your efforts. Sometimes it may be good to just have in your mindset, okay, these pants fit a little tight. I want them to fit a little looser. So I'm just going to start embarking on my wellness journey, but I'm not going to step on that scale because that may be the thing that deters me from starting my journey. Sometimes it's not good to start your weight loss journey. Say, well, I'm going to start that at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, or I'm going to start that. Sometimes it's best to start it in the middle of the day. Or sometimes it may be best to start, if you were going to start it on a Monday, that you started on a Tuesday. I'm thrilled that the new year started in the middle of the week. You'll have some people who will say, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and wait till Monday. I'm just going to go ahead and splurge. I'm just going to wait. Sometimes we set ourselves up for failure when we put out in the atmosphere that we're going to do something, and that, and we want it to start at this particular date, at this particular time. When I think about when I started my wellness journey, on a Tuesday, and it was like 3:19 in the afternoon. And that's when I started. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to start right now. And I began going through my kitchen, and I started getting rid of a few things. And that's just how it started for me. And here it is now, almost 3 years later, and 64 pounds later. And I'm doing things differently. But it didn't start at a specific time and a specific date. I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and just went about the process of starting that journey at that particular time. So there's no particular time and date to start something. It's just getting in the process of starting it so that your mind doesn't have time to sabotage all of the grandiose plans that you're making. So, with the 365-day challenge, it's going to be about those small things that we're doing that can become habits. Okay. I did a video today, and it went out earlier this afternoon, that talked about the challenge and day one of the challenge. And I was very raw about it. It started out no makeup, coming on camera and talking about, creating small habits. It started out with prayer. I said, what is something that I can do that touches on each one of these areas? So I started out by talking about, prayer. For me, when I wake up in the morning, before I even put my feet to the ground, I say thank you. I thank God for allowing me to wake up and to see another day, and, for some, they may be challenged in being able to pray or to be able to meditate. Sometimes it's just a matter of taking a deep breath and saying, thank you, Lord, for this day. And if that's all that you have, that's all that you have. And so, that's one thing that we can do with regards to our spiritual, the spiritual portion of our journey. Okay. The next thing that I talked about was being able to get up, have a glass of water, be able to take my vitamins. Okay. Before I, got up and moved my body. Okay. That was part of my spiritual, things that I added spiritually to myself. So, I mean, not spiritually, physically. Okay. So I talked about getting up, having that glass of water, having my vitamins, and preparing myself to do my exercise. I am a diehard 5:30 in the morning exercise person. That's the time that works for me. So that's what I did to tune into my body, into that physical aspect. So I had my time of prayer. I had my taking of my supplements and exercising and moving my body. And then I moved into a challenge that I have. I am doing the 31-day wisdom challenge. That is something that I'm doing today. It was something that I was interested in that I saw online, and I signed up for it. And it's going to be taking us through uh, the book of Proverbs. And so that's something that I'm doing to exercise my mind. Okay. And so it's small things that we can do. What are things that we can do on a daily basis that can become habitual? Okay. And that's something that's important because it takes 66 days for something to become a habit. And so there are going to be some aspects of our mind, body, and spirit that we want to touch on each day. So that way, just like we get up and brush our teeth, or just like we get up and we go and take our shower, or there are certain things that we do. What are things that we can incorporate on all three of these levels that are going to help us to be the better versions of ourselves? And that's what the challenge is all about. It's those small things that we can do that are just going to become our norm by the end of the year. And so, like I said, day one for me, what did I add? I added an additional 5 minutes to my time of meditation. I love to meditate. That's something that I've been doing for some time, and so that's where my mindset is. What can I do a little different? What's a little bit more that I can add? And so I usually have a certain set amount of time that I do my meditation, and I add a little bit more time to that. Okay. I had been on a sugar fast for some time, a couple of months back, and since I've gone to birthday parties, I've gone to weddings, I've gone to, baby showers, and in addition to the holidays. And so I've kind of gotten away from being on my sugar fast. And so it was my goal to start back on that. Now, am I going to dive in headfirst with that? Absolutely not. I am going to lessen the amount of sugar that I have, because sometimes, like I said, if we try to go too far, too fast, we're setting ourselves up for failure. So I am, I'm thinking about today. I've not had any sugar today, but, that's because I've had some work to do and my mind was not focused on that, on the food and any of the leftovers that we had from last night. And so, so far so good. But that's for today. Okay. Tomorrow, when we have other family members who will be coming over and there may be things that are left out there, it's just going to be a matter of cutting back a little bit. I also noticed that my water intake was not as great as it has been. I used to drink a gallon of water a day. I've slacked off in that because I travel a lot for work, and sometimes I'm not in a place where I can get to a restroom quickly. And so I had cut back on the amount of water that I was drinking. So now I'm going to start to get back with that. Everybody's going to have a different set of things that they're going to do to tap into each one of these things. Like I said, with the mind, I wanted to tap into this challenge. It was something that I was interested in. It was something that I saw. And so I've got that together. And I'll be doing that over the next 30 days. And then after that, I've been looking at I have some books that I've purchased through the holidays, when they were having all these wonderful sales. And I'm going to start looking into reading some of those books through the course of the year. But it's just a matter of finding those small, tangible things, again, like I said, that you can do just for today. Okay? So we want to start small. It's just day one. What are some things that you think you would be interested in doing that can become a habit over time? Okay? Start out small. Like I said, start out just by saying, "Thank you, Lord," if that's the spiritual aspect. Some people have different ways of serving. Some people, if it is not God, if it is not Source, there are other entities that you believe in, and that may be something that you want to strengthen. Okay. What I tend to think about is, you know, we talk about our daily bread. We talk about, when we're hungry or when we have hunger pangs, what do? We go and we eat, correct? What do we do to mentally feed ourselves? What do we do to spiritually feed ourselves? Sometimes we don't have those grumblings like we have in our stomach, but there may be something in our mind. There may be something that we're curious about. And that's where we go and we say, all right, what can I do to feed that portion of my mind? I may be feeling like my relationship with Christ, or my relationship with Source, or that person, or that entity that you choose to serve. I don't feel as though I'm where I want to be there. So what is something that I can do to start going in that direction? Okay. And that's, of course, where these toolboxes come in. What are some of the resources? What are some of the things that I put in those toolboxes that will help me to get to that next level? And with any toolbox, like anybody has in their home, we have tools in there that we may not know how to use. We have them in preparation for things that happen, but we may not know how to use them. And that's where we call in someone to come in and assist us. And that may be something that we have to do as well. Some of you may say, when I go to do this 365-day challenge, I'm going to need somebody to do it with me, or I'm going to need somebody to be an accountability partner. Well, if you need an accountability partner, please feel free to hop into my DM and say, hey, Kim, could you be my accountability partner? And I'll be happy to do that, because I'm going to have you all be my accountability partner as I go through this challenge myself. Because like I said, every day is not going to be a perfect day. Okay. Today, like I said, was a long day. It's been a long day. I'm anxious to get off of my feet and to put my feet up and to relax and to get some much needed rest, because my system is off from the fanfare and everything of yesterday and going into the new year and having a party. We had a wonderful Roaring 20s party here at my parents' house, and it was great to spend time with family and friends. But I also know what my body needs, and my body needs that restorative rest. I got up this morning, like I said, did my exercise and made sure that I ate properly during the course of the day. And now my body is tight. It needs that rest. And so when this show is over, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay this body down. Okay. But I wanted to take time, again, to just talk about the challenge, to talk about creating habits, to talk about what it is that we can do to be better versions of ourselves. And so I'm not going to belabor. I'm not going to stay on long. I want to, encourage you to, take some time to think about what it is that you want to do to create those habits. Start looking into some books that talk about those things. I'm going to be sharing an ebook that hopefully you all can connect with. Provide your email address and I will send the ebook to you that talks about toolboxes and just helps us to get in the mind frame of being our better selves. So this year is about execution. It's about those things that we can do on a daily basis that will become habits, so that way when things come up, we know what to do because we've been practicing those things. We've been putting those things into practice in our daily lives each and every day. And so with that, I'll stop here and hopefully we'll get a chance to go, into deeper dives over these days to come, over this year to come, as we go through the process, again, of being our better selves. So with that, please make sure that you go to my website, www.hownowpodcast.com. Make sure that you check out the YouTube channel. And again, any questions, anything that you want to discuss or talk about with regards to toolboxes, with regards to, things that we can do to and increase our habits with regards to our mind, body, and spirit, please reach out, and I'll be happy to, walk with you as we go through this journey. Like I said, it's been a long day. I look forward to embarking on this journey with you through the next 364 days to come. And with that, I will say have a beautiful, blessed evening. Please take care of yourself. Get the restorative rest that you need. And we look forward to seeing what tomorrow will bring. But remember, do things just for today. Tomorrow is going to come with all that it has, but focus on today and all of the beauty that's come with the day. Okay, and with that, I'm going to say good night. I'll see you soon. And until then, say peace.